Welcome to From the Concrete, the series that recognizes pioneers, innovators, trendsetters, and most of all, the next generation of change makers by giving them their flowers now. I'm your host, Briana Elmore. Y'all, we done got D-Smoke on the podcast. D-Smoke.
Hey, good to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here. Before we get into this episode, I'm going to get into your bio real quick.
Okay, for sure.
Daniel D-Smoke Farris is a 3-time Grammy-nominated musician, actor, and author. A former educator from Inglewood, California, D-Smoke carved a space for himself, penning hit, Billboard charting songs for award-winning artists, earning him an ASCAP award. He gained international notoriety following his win on Netflix's Rhythm and Flow, and shortly after released the critically acclaimed studio album Black Habits, which earned him nominations for Best Rap Album and Best New Artist at the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards. He also received an NAACP Image Award nomination for Outstanding New Artist, and in 2023 signed with Snoop Dogg's Death Row Records. Outside of exhibiting his range in music, D-Smoke has also shown his acting chops, appearing in Bel-Air and Paramount's Mayor of Kingstown. The untraditional triple threat, hailed for bridging cultural gaps, is soon releasing both a young adult novel and, of course, his highly anticipated third full-length album. D-Smoke, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent.
Amazing. We're doing even better now that you're here. Are you ready to get into it?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Let's start with getting to know more about what led you on your path in getting to the root. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, so let's get started. So let's start from the beginning. You grew up in a family of talented musicians. Mm-hmm. So how did such a foundation form you into the artist that you are today?
My upbringing was everything. I think a lot of artists' journey is like they're struggling with what their parents want for them and what they want for themselves. And I was fortunate enough for that not to be my story. My mom taught me music. So as early as 6 years old, I was sitting around a piano with my brothers learning where middle C is, where the difference between a half step and a whole step.
And how to hold your
arm. Tiny gloves.
I was going to say.
That's about all I could get out of it.
You got the first.
But so that it was always supportive, you know. So we just dove right into music. Sir, ironically, was the one who acted like he didn't want to do music, but it really was he just wanted to pave his own path. So when my brother Davion and I were focused on writing for other artists, he was making his own music, and so he found his identity in music, I would say even earlier than we did, and hence, you know, his introduction to the world came sooner than my own and my brother Davion. So but all of us grew up in that supportive household and had big shoes to fill. Mom had written a song. Well, she had written many songs, but one of which, you know, went around the world and it was like one of the biggest gospel songs in the 90s called My Help. Been recorded by, you know, C.C. Winans, Brooklyn Tabernacle, choirs throughout Africa. And so just us witnessing that was something that set the bar really high for us. And it kind of defined how we approach music, you know. Music should mean something, you know. Of course, we chose not to do gospel, you know, as our, like, first expression of music. Although, you know, I've been on gospel songs, worked with gospel artists, and appreciate that. And I'm grateful for my ability to kind of cross over into that lane. But we didn't choose that path like she did. But we all approach music from a very honest standpoint because of our roots and our upbringing with, you know, my mom Jackie, my uncle Andrew, my grandmother Betty, you know, my uncle Anthony, paving that way for us.
And I think it's something special about, like, just being raised by an artist.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because that also changes the way that you can interact with the world and the way you even look at it. So how, like, special is that to be able to do that? But then also, you were saying with, like, you guys didn't choose gospel, which I understand that, but also gospel is always, it's like interwoven in the music. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the soul in music is just so healing as it is. So I feel like it's still, you can hear the influence, right? Because you can always, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you can always hear if somebody's like, oh, baby, you was in a church somewhere. He's like, I can tell the way you singing. It's like, that's not just a regular run. You know what I mean? So you can always feel that and have that. And if we talking about gospel, it's an anointing. That's what they call it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can feel the anointing no matter what. So really, it doesn't matter the genre if the person is called to do that. So, you know what I mean? I still think it's still intertwined in there. So I don't think.
Well, thank you. If you see it, then I'm grateful that it's coming through.
Yeah, because you can tell when somebody has an ear for music, cares about it, and just again the way that everything feels for real. It's like you can feel that. You can feel the soul transcend in there. So listen, okay. You know, might be a couple cusses in there, but it's still the soul. It's still the soul in there. But listen,
Grandma had to get used to it. You're like, baby, I just now got to listen to your music and appreciate it. At first, I just couldn't hear it.
Oh no, you got to do all that fussing,
right?
And it's so for your albums exude such an eclectic range of music. So, what is something that you've listened to from your youth that we may not know? That has impacted the music that you make today?
I mean, I got to start with gospel to keep it a buck. Fred Hammond, I think, is one of the most prolific musicians that has ever done music. And I think within the gospel world, we recognize him as one of the greatest. But I think if you just separate the distinction between gospel music and music, he's still one of the best. And, I would put him somewhere after Stevie Wonder, just musically brilliant, and Stevie was something that my mother introduced us to early on and was a big influence in how we approach music, writing music, harmonies, experimentation with different chord progressions and things like that. So, and then once I transitioned into like appreciating rap or sneaking to listen to rap,
because you gotta sneak. You gotta sneak.
Oh, what?
Listen, you gotta sneak, especially if your mama's gospel oriented. It's like,
They wasn't letting that in the house. What you mean? But Outkast was a big influence of mine, just because I was like, I loved school. I knew I wanted to be a smart kid. That was my first sport. You know what I'm saying? Davion's first sport was music. Daryl just wanted to play outside with his friends, and I was like, oh, I can do this school thing, But I was
you're
also
a middle
fighting.
child too, right?
I'm a middle child.
Me too.
Yeah, let's go, middle child.
Okay, middle child.
Shout out to my cousin Whitney, middle child gang.
Come on now, yes.
So, but what was I talking about? So yeah, my first sport was academics, and I knew I wanted to be smart. I knew I grew up in a spiritual household, but I love fighting. So then I was always attracted to like the streets and that edge and independence in that way. And so when I heard Outkast, it kind of reconciled a lot of things for me, because it was like, oh, I can be all of this. I can be smart, spiritual, hood, you know what I'm saying, gangster kind of, you know what I'm saying, but still thoughtful, because before it felt like it was one or the other,
Yeah.
Like, and I love West Coast music. I'm super influenced by Snoop, you know what I'm saying, and Corrupt and all that, but if you weren't well-rounded, a lot of that made you want to gangbang. You know? And I'm no exception to that either. Like, it was a point in time where I was like, are we going to do this gangbanging thing? Like, and then I was like, oh, no, I got pops in the house. Like, we ain't doing that, Like, but had my dad been in jail for longer, once that transition hit where it was like the streets or the home, you got to choose the streets. You know, if you don't have that father figure that's like, not having it.
Yeah.
So.
He was like, actually, you're not.
Nah.
But, I think that speaks a lot, too. It's just like sometimes you just have to have those examples of different things. And it's just like it pays to be able to have different musical taste and then make sure that you're putting yourself out there in those spaces, or at least because it's like I have to be able. My mom has always called it like painting what is it, painting something on the tapestry of your heart, right? So if you don't know it, you can't see it. You don't see it. You don't know that you can necessarily do it, or you don't even envision yourself past a certain point.
Right.
So being able to see somebody that resonated with you, and again, it spoke to your intellect, but it also spoke. It was like it wasn't whack. It wasn't weak. It was good.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal.
It's the greatest of all time. I think they're going in the, what is it? They might be in the Rock and
Roll
Roll.
Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
yeah.
I heard something like that. So yeah.
Of all time.
Yeah.
So
we gonna get some dirt. All
let's
right.
get some dirt.
So your family created Woodworks,
Yes.
an independent music label and artist development lab where you, your siblings, and other artists carved your voices. So what lessons did being in business with family teach you about the music industry, like as a machine and just all that?
Got you. Being in business with family, I'll just start off by saying it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because, sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees, in the sense that you have some of the most talented people in the world are next to you, and then so you kind of want, part of you wants to look over and be like, man, shut up, you just you, right? But then the other part of you is like, oh dang, like you're one of the greatest. My brother Davion, one of the most incredible writers, vocalists, artists for a long time.
Listen, we
So
know it's not, y'all not playing.
So I'm gonna play here real quick. But
Yeah.
so it was, and then I don't, I believe in myself as an artist too, and as a leader. Like outside of my role, primarily in Woodworks Records, Woodworks Productions, was to kind of organize everything so that we all had the best fighting chance of being successful. So if that was taking my financial aid, refund check and building a studio in my parents' garage, then I would do that. We did that at 19. If that was, giving Sir his first mic and interface so that he could record from home. Once he sang a song that he had written, that was like my role to like, hey, look, we gonna make it. And of course, creatively, I wrote songs and produced, and I've been producing since I was 10 years old on my uncle's studio equipment that he let us use first and then ended up giving us. And so, but, with me trying to be the leader and not the oldest, you can imagine there was so much pushback. Like, the first time I ever smoked weed, for example, I was 21. But we had the studio there since I was like 18, 19. So I'm coming in and I'm finding like the insides to like blunts, like just like swept under the coffee table. And I'm like, wait, because I'm in college coming back.
Yeah.
Where I'm the only one in college. So plus it was a big investment on my part. So when I come home.
Yeah, this is my whole refund check. Y'all
man,
wildin'.
And I find out y'all smoking in here. So I'm damn near trying to flip tables. Like, man, y'all gambling in the house of God. What you like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was just kind of situations like that where we had to learn how to respect each other as creatives, as business people. And we've had hard conversations. We've had whole seasons where it was like different managers. Like even now, Sirs signed a TDE. And at some point, we called it a man-to-man defense or or spread the floor offense, however you want to look at it. Like, whatever comes up, we take it and go for it, and we support each other as we go in that direction. His play was the TDE play, and then it put us in position to learn so much. Sir, I've learned so much from my younger brother, because I got to be really close to somebody doing the actual work of being a professional artist.
I love that you were able to see that and get that opportunity to be able to see what it was that you want to do and then how you want to do it. Because, again, you can learn a lot from, I'm sure, from Sir's experience.
For sure.
However, you can learn how you would do yours different, and that helps you out too.
For sure. And distinguishing yourself is actually the name of the game. Like, Sir, he's always been different. Like, and it's because he's since jump, like, chose the path less traveled. Like, y'all going, and it's just an instinct for him. Like, y'all doing that, I'm doing this. And that's what made him act like. My mom just made music non-optional. Like, music is our family gift to the next generation. Like,
And it's the gift that has kept giving, by the way.
Keep giving. So what are these? I put the mellow yellows.
You can put whichever one you want in there.
Not both, though.
You can put both.
Let's put both.
Both ain't never hurt nobody.
So when do I come back and check up on my plants? You know what I'm saying?
You can always check on your plant. You always welcome to come back and check on your plant.
I need this to actually grow. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going through the motions. Right?
I want to see the growth. What makes you such a standout artist is your ability to transcend cultural barriers, specifically in today's...
While still being dope.
Yes. No. Listen. Yeah. Because I was like, listen, you didn't switched up the flow, and I'm listening. I'm like, hold on, he in another language, y'all, and I'm still like, all right. I'm tapping into my high school Spanish to understand, but I was like, I'm with you. I'm with you when you write.
Before you got his high school Spanish, it's gonna be a challenge.
I was gonna say you're way more fluent, so I caught a few words, but the point is the flow never stop.
I appreciate
it's still knock every time. So, and you come back. You always come back. You tell us what you see.
Yeah. I tried to.
So, how do you advocate for Black and Brown communities in such an authentic and accessible way?
I think me rapping in Spanish and me, doing that crossover is just doing the same thing that other cultures do all the time. As Americans, we're the only country where it's normal not to be bilingual. If you're in Africa, everybody speaks 3 languages. So, and with the population of Latinos in Inglewood being so high, it's not a foreign language. Ain't nothing foreign about it. You know what I mean? It's very domestic in the wood, So I feel like I'm representing my city when I do that. And it don't seem as far-fetched to me as it does to other people. Mm-hmm. I just think we're accustomed to accepting certain boundaries in art and in music that makes something that D Smoke does seem weird. When really it's like, if I walk through Inglewood for a day on foot, I'm gonna hear Spanish a lot. Yeah. So that's just some Inglewood stuff to me.
Yeah. Because my understanding of it is just like this people you grew up with. This is like, it's like this your neighbor, this your homie, this is somebody that is your friend.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you the fluent, like it makes sense, especially for coming from LA and Inglewood.
And I went to a predominantly Latino middle school and still have friends to this day who, when I got to that school, they were just code switching back and forth whenever they felt like it, and I was lost 50% of the time,
So you went from learning Spanish in the A building of Inglewood High.
Very true.
In the basement and studying Spanish at UCLA, and then returning to teach Spanish at the very high school that you attended. So why was it important to you to go back to your roots?
Oh, man. Big shout out to the A building basement.
Shout out to the A building.
I think they don't even have classes in the A building basement no more. But it was, I wish I could say, like, oh, yeah, I had the master plan since jump. I was going That's not what happened. Like, it was always music, to keep it a buck. Like, always. I was supposed to blow up at 19 while I was in college and be a millionaire by 20. You know what I'm saying? Graduate, and go right on tour,
Yeah.
And we did see some money. We saw some checks, but we didn't know shit about nothing. So we spent all the money, bought all kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like the 40K you made that year.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like that got blown real quick.
But you make 40K all at once, and you think it's gonna be 40K every day.
Yeah, and then it's like 40K for the first 3 months, and then it's like, what you gonna do for the rest of the 9 months? Yeah.
So we made the 40K, spent the 40K. No, we spent that money. Or, you know what? I got to give myself more credit. Some of that I saved, but I just was like, look, if I end up living off of this, then I can't stack it. You know? So I'm like, okay. My first job out of college, I was a director of an outreach program called SHAPE, where, we had 4 different sites where we sent out UCLA students to do tutoring and college application help and mentoring. And I had 8 coordinators, 36 staff. I'm signing off on their paycheck, training them, all this stuff. And so that gave me a lot of like professional skills that I carried into like our music company.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
then,
say those are transferable every
oh,
time. You know,
for sure. Like, and how I run my
it
company.
changed. Yeah, I was like, it changed the way you think.
Absolutely. And then so, the next job, how I got to teaching was the principal at one of the schools we served. Her name is Miss Tate, who was my principal as well. She was like, "Look, when you want a real job, come teach at Inglewood." I said, "Lady, this is a real job. I mean, I'm a director. You know what I'm saying?" But
excuse you,
right? You know, let's scoot past that. I would love to teach, but hey, like so. But I took her up on it, and I enjoyed teaching. You know, with all my heart. It's one of the things I'm most proud of that I've ever done. You know, but I can't take credit to be like, yeah, I planned on doing that. I didn't know how this stuff was going to happen. Even when I changed my major to Spanish, I was taking Spanish classes to fulfill a prereq and just kept going because I liked it and I was learning.
Yeah.
But my major was business economics. It was always like music business and this and that. Business economics was super theoretical. It wasn't really helping me. It wasn't helping me learn practical skills that I could apply to the music industry. And so, I started off doing really well, but once I got more into the community work, I got less interested in some stuff that I didn't see how it applied. My grades started dropping in that regard. Then they sent me an email basically saying like, "Hey, it looks like you're trying to major in econ. If so, you're not accepted to the major." And I said, "What?" And then
you gotta pivot real quick.
I was like, okay. And what's funny is I was already considering like, I don't like this. I might change to Spanish. And just when I needed that confirmation, that came. I was like, well, let's do it. And you know, then when you're studying something that you're passionate about and see the connection, like I might have gotten like 1B in my whole major course, you know. And so spoke at the Spanish Portuguese department graduation ceremony, and they was like, "Oh, you speak so well," like because I had to speak in Spanish, you know. And so, but it was always these shifts that I felt happening independent of what I thought I wanted to do. Spanish teaching, I never even got a credential, you know. It was like these schools kept finding a way to get me there. Here's an emergency permit. Just go to grad school. I drop out of grad school. They like, all right, you got to leave the school, you know. So it was me just being humbled time and time again, learning lessons, falling and getting back up, and then, you know, somewhere in my 30s figuring a couple things out the right way.
But yeah, I always feel, and I don't know if you feel this way or not, but I always feel like you always end up where you're supposed to be. And like you always, it's just like, and then it's just like, I feel like for me, what I do to check myself is like, okay, you're doing way too much trying to force this one thing because that's what I thought, right? But then it's just like, sometimes you just got to like relent to, you know, the alignment. So wherever you're aligning, but I do think it's really cool that it ended up aligning somewhere where it's like it was a full circle moment, even though that wasn't he was like, that wasn't a goal. We just trying to figure it out.
Right.
But I love how it worked out, though. I think that just continues to make your story even more beautiful.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more with you. I think the irony is that you got to relent to the alignment, like you said, after having given it your all.
No, for real.
And that some people be like, I'm gonna just let go and float into it. Nah.
No.
It took giving it my all to realize like I was heading in the wrong direction, or you know, to reach the end of my capabilities to see what God had for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the irony of like learning when to flow and when to go.
Yeah, for real.
It's corny. So corny.
But it's true, though. Now, you've done so much in your career, but we would love to know how you fill your own cup and pour into yourself. Before we get started, I'm going to pour you up some tea as you spill some tea, okay?
Okay, I'm going to spill the tea if there isn't any to spill.
So, as your fans, we know you as D Smoke, but the triple threat, amazing artist, actor, and author. But we would love to know how Daniel Farris pours into himself.
Got you. I'm extremely busy, to be honest, but I try not to let that keep me from doing things that I love. My wife is reading a book, The Artist's Way, and it poses a really dope question. Like, if you weren't a musician, what would you be? And then as a hobby, set some time aside for that. And it's interesting because if I wasn't a musician, and can I just go right into the tea? Okay, for sure. Oh, that's delightful.
See, it's good. It's refreshing.
That's refreshing. So, I think the earliest thing that kind of gave me a sense of self and identity, ironically enough, was fighting. Like, my pops was locked up, and we lived in this ghetto neighborhood and went to this school where, you know, kids were being kids and they would bully you. And so I started fighting early, and ironically enough, it would get me in trouble, it would get me suspended, but I knew that feeling that I had when it's like, oh, I won.
It's a rush.
You know? I won, and I know how to win, you know? And it just made me feel like nobody could impose their will on me. And so I always loved fighting. So once Pops came home and we got that structure, it was more so like karate, boxing, all these things, and they invested in it. You know, for me and my brothers, Sir got hands, Davion got hands, you know, we could all fight, you know, and so.
Yeah, ain't nobody pulling cards around here. Yeah.
No. Like, don't nobody want Sir. I would put Sir against any R&B singer and most rappers, you know what I'm saying? But I think that's something that I do. Like, I train like in martial arts and boxing, and it just, you know, it's one of those things that I can do that where I forget to look at my phone for hours. Yeah, you know, and
it has to help you like stay calm too. It's regulate because it's like stuff be frustrating. You can get it because like. Listen, you getting this out of me. I like a good kickboxing class myself.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's so good. You just feel, you feel like a badass, man. It's just like, can't nobody mess with you. And then, I don't know, I always be joking with my family. I'll be like, man, I got that dog. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Dog. And you can't teach that dog.
You can't teach that dog.
You got it or you don't.
Okay.
You know,
listen, and then it take a lot to train that dog.
Sure. Harness him.
Yeah.
Harness them.
And
so
then we ain't talking chihuahuas around here.
No, we're talking Dobermans. You know? But no, boxing and martial arts. I just recently got my green belt, so I'm 2 belts away from black. It's brown.
That's
and black. That's
amazing.
You know?
Listen, that stuff is a big deal for real.
Huge deal. Shout out to Kenji's Kaju Kimbo. You know, and so. That's one thing, but I'm also an avid reader or audiobooker now, you know.
A lot of people do the both, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what I will really sit down and read is a script now that I'm like on Mayor of Kingstown and acting has picked up, and I'm always like reading the scripts, rereading the scripts. But because I'm moving around so much, audiobooks is like while I'm in motion, while I'm cleaning, while I'm driving, I'm listening to books. And there's several books, just like you mentioned, I don't know if we were on camera yet, but comfort shows or comfort movies. I have comfort books, you know, like The Alchemist is a comfort book. It's a revisit, you know, several times a year. I listen to Will Smith's book multiple times.
I heard that one was super good.
Oh, yeah, Will is an incredible book.
Yeah.
You know, Matthew McConaughey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, you know, 4 Agreements. You know, The Way of the Superior Man, this book on negotiation, Never Split the Difference, you know, Burn the Boats, you know, these different books that I listen to is just like, it's like having conversations with some of the greatest thinkers ever, you know.
So you were introduced to a huge audience on Netflix's Rhythm and Flow, and while you were embraced as the winner of the popular series, how did you navigate the new level of stardom?
The initial jump to fame happened in late 2019. Before the world shut down. They started talking about COVID. What's the COVID, you know, 19?
And you're like, okay.
All right, cool. Then it went crazy. And so, but when it first hit, I was everywhere. I just was busy. And it was more about negotiating with my team what I needed to stay sane. Like, and sometimes it was simple stuff like, hey, look, bro. Like I snapped on my team one time in New York. And it was only these little moments. But it was like, we had done like 6 straight interviews on this press run, and I hadn't eaten since it was probably like 4 p.m. and I hadn't eaten since early morning. And I was like, bro, why haven't we gotten some food? And I just went straight there,
No,
and,
but the hunger.
the hunger,
You know what I'm saying? The hunger will do it quick.
So yeah, I think it was more so me working with my team on how to support what's happening, how to make sure everybody's personal needs are taken care of as we move faster than we ever have, meet the demand. I've always been like, in high school I got 1B, and ironically it was in Spanish.
That is.
Ironically.
That really is.
But I've always been like, show up to the plate, prepared, execute at the highest level. And so that's what we focused on doing professionally. I think personally, it was just kind of like things were moving so fast that I didn't even really try to over process things like emotionally. Where am I? Like, this is me walking in purpose. So let's just stick to that,
Let's try to take it all in as much as we can, but keep it rolling. Exactly.
And then, but when everything slowed down, of course, I had to do some of that. Like, and it was like, why? All right, God. We got to talk to God on this one. Why? In my biggest moment, when we have literally 50 dates, paid dates, big bags, millions of dollars to go collect around the world, and the world shuts down. And mind you, this is my first go round, so some of these dates would have been me locking in fans that I would then have for life. So there's stops that I haven't yet made. There are places I go where people are like, "Oh, he's here. We thought we never see him." You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, I'm just 6 years later. You know what I'm saying?
Just calm down.
So that's the part where I had to do a lot of processing. When it first hit, it was like, let's go. When it slowed down, it was like, why? Like, why now? Why? I took it personally.
Yeah. That's because it's hard, especially when you are intertwined in your artistry. It's like, dang, okay, what's up with that?
Moment.
What's up with that? Yeah,
Who
it's like,
my moment?
I've earned it.
But yeah, we just roll with the punches.
Yeah, well, I love that. I got one more question, and we're gonna water this top dirt that didn't get
water
no
the
love.
Top dirt.
I promised you we could get the top dirt.
This little spritzer is kind of gangster.
It's actually really hard, right? What are some things that stem from childhood that bring you immense joy to this day? Which we talked about it with the fighting.
Got you. I mean, martial arts brings me a lot of joy. The show Martin brings me an immense amount of joy. It just cracks me up. Martin is the best to ever do it,
To date. Truly.
To date. Being around siblings and cousins gives me an incredible amount of joy.
Yeah.
It's just when I'm around people that I grew up with, I feel like the version of me that met them. You know what I'm saying? So around Davion and Sir, we're just kids again.
Yeah.
We play fight, we talk trash, we laugh,
and that's a lifetime of jokes.
You know
what I'm saying? A whole lifetime of insiders. Jokes. It's like you have to do it. Yes. And then, black and brown people, they cousins is their siblings too. Yeah. So it's like, having those cousin calls and all that, it's like that is very replenishing. And it's just like, man, you get to talk trash,
Yes. So somewhere between fighting and hanging with family is the best.
This episode is sponsored by Picture Life. Picture Life is a premium photo booth rental company that delivers immersive, high-energy experiences for weddings, parties, and corporate events. They help clients capture unforgettable moments with customized branding and instant social sharing. Picture Life, your partner for every occasion.
Now, let's get a little wild and a little nosy in Wildflower, a rapid this or that game.
Okay,
all right?
Let's go.
All right, so you pull, I pull, but you answer all of them, okay?
All right. Me first?
Yeah, you first.
All right.
Guess first.
All right. Run the Subtitles or Rhythm and Flow? I got to go with Run the Subtitles.
Okay.
And why?
You can give us a little brief why, but also if you like, nah, that's that.
I mean, Run the Subtitles got me that opportunity for sure, So I think Run the Subtitles is is me stepping out on faith and being like, this is gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rhythm and flow was me I was actually skeptical. And the irony is that me not putting so much on rhythm and flow is probably what allowed me to navigate it so well, because I was skeptical. I was like, I don't trust y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I was more focused on doing me than trying to do what they wanted me to do. But running Subtitles was like the unadulterated, like, I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying? So.
Writing for Jaheim or writing for Genuine?
I gotta go with writing for Jaheim. Big shout out to Brian Michael Cox. He's the one who got us the song
beat
with
Cox jam.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? The song with Genuine. But the one for Jaheim it got me an ASCAP award. It got me, my first gold plaque, which I can still order. I don't even have it. You know what I'm saying? But, and honestly, I've never met Jaheim. My brother went with him to produce the vocals because they wasn't flying all of us out as a whole camp, But that was like the big taste of like success in the music industry, the first big taste.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Also, you know what? It's a fun fact while you pull. Genuine was my first crush ever. I was like, it was crazy. My family, they make fun of me to this day. I was obsessed as a child.
Hilarious. Bel Air or Mayor of Kingstown?
Ooh.
That's a hard one. Bel Air is a beautiful black show, and I love the cast, and I've gotten friends and family on the cast. But my role on Bel Air is me playing myself. You know? So it's cool. I wouldn't consider it acting so much as Mayor of Kingstown is like, okay, I'm digging in my bag to really access somebody that's different from me. He's an extreme version of parts of me that I have, like, fighting lends to playing Raphael, but Raphael has a whole different story. He's a father. He's gotten his hands real dirty and bloodied, you know?
And you get to step outside of yourself.
Exactly. So I would have to go Mayor of Kingstown.
I love that.
Personally.
Brazil or Costa Rica?
Oh, Brazil or Costa Rica? I'm going to go, that's not fair.
Listen, now, with this or that, I want to give you a disclaimer. I give you one chance to not choose between one, but then that means you got to answer the rest of them. You don't know what's in there. That's all I'm saying.
Brazil or Costa Rica? I'm gonna go Brazil.
Ooh.
Only reason, Costa Rica got a special place in my heart. I got land in Costa Rica, all of that stuff. Pura vida para los que me están mirando.
I do recall Pura vida.
But Brazil has the highest population of black people outside of Africa.
Oh, wow.
More than in the United States. And it's just something powerful in Brazil. And it's a lot of support that I get from Brazil. After rhythm and flow, and I need to get out there just to connect with the people that have sent me messages and all this stuff. So it's a lot of love there. Costa Rica is like my own other safe haven. It's a home of sorts, but I would have to say that Brazil is that unexplored land that I really need to tap into more. Album producer of the year or Black Habits? I'm gonna say producer of the year.
Wow.
Producer
Okay.
And producer of the year is Woodworks Records. It's a collaborative album that includes myself, Tiffany Goucher, my brother Davion, and my homeboy Chiz, who passed. So rest in peace, Chiz.
Rest in peace.
He's rapping all over the album. Tiff made the first beat, I made the rest, and everybody said the first beat was their favorite. You know what I'm saying? Davion singing on there. And it was just a time where we had no clue what was ahead. Los Racas or Daddy Yankee?
Ooh, I'm glad you got that one because I was not going to pronounce that one right.
I'm going to say Los Racas. Los Racas, they're a duo from Panama, and they're a Panamanian duo from the Bay Area. And I remember when I first started rapping in Spanish, my homeboy Luke from the Bay, he put me up on Los Racas, and they influenced me a lot, to be honest. And then we got a chance to collaborate on a song, which was like a full circle moment. And so, I got to go with the homies Los Racas. And
Yeah.
we got a song called Poquito Más. So if you ain't heard it, check it out.
A little more? Is that what that says?
Yes, dame un poquito más.
Look at me. She's fluent.
Hey, you're a full Spanish teacher now.
Yeah. Certified.
Teaching Spanish or teaching music theory? I'm going to go teaching Spanish.
Yeah.
Teaching Spanish is a joy. It's funny. You know, I've outside of teaching Spanish at a high school, I also got a chance to teach Snoop some Spanish. You know,
Really?
I wrote his verse for Maldición.
I was going to say, I remember he was on a Spanish song.
Yes, so I wrote his verses for the song with Banda MS and Maldición is the name of the song. And so it was me taking my skills as a Spanish teacher to the studio.
Yeah.
And when I tell you it was the funniest session I ever had. Because Snoop, he's a hard worker. You know, it's no accident to us seeing how successful Snoop is. But
yeah, he always got a job.
But
he always
fun.
doing something.
Oh, yeah, he always doing something. He ripping and running.
Yeah.
But he's funny, man, and he likes to enjoy himself. So Snoop is in there talking about, I want it to sound like a Spanish announcer. So he said, aunque soy tu hombre todavía, soy amigo. You know? So it was just the funnest session I ever was a part of. And teaching Spanish is just something that just brought me so much joy, and I couldn't really anticipate it. But.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, both of y'all slid, okay? He slid on that verse.
And he did his thing. He did his thing. It took a couple tries, but he did it.
But we got there. All right. Last one.
All right.
Miss Ruby's or Sip and Sonder?
Miss Ruby's or Sip and Sonder? They're two very different things. Miss Ruby's Bakery is a real landmark, older landmark. Sip and Sonder, I think they're a new landmark though. Like they're doing everything to cement themselves in the Inglewood, the new Inglewood culture, and they're a place for Black people to come work, collaborate, build. So I might give it to Sip and Sonder.
Yeah, because that's a good thing, and it's just giving good community, you know?
For sure. And it's a space that's so necessary.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to go Sip and Sonder, but shout out to Miss Ruby's
all right.
for all the grilled chicken sandwiches I've eaten over the years. You know what I'm saying?
We love that.
We know that no one can do this alone, and give them their flowers. We would love to know who is inspiring you.
Who would you like to give flowers to and why?
In my personal life first?
Yeah.
Okay. In my personal life, I want to give flowers to a mentor of mine by the name of Julian Gordon. Julian Gordon, when I got to UCLA, he set the bar for what it meant to be a great man, you know, a man of character and a purpose. And he's always done that, both on the professional side and on the personal side. But so I got to give him his flowers, you know, because, you know, that's one of those relationships we don't talk all the time, but it was so impactful that it set me off on a path to not do what I do necessarily, but do it a certain way, you know. So.
Yeah, and my mom always said your real friends. She was like, the real friends are the ones you don't have to see every day. The real people are the people you don't have to see every day. But when you meet up with them again, it's like nothing ever changed. A day didn't go by.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the next one is, who is someone in your industry that you would like to give their flowers to?
That's a good question. In my industry,
you got so many you could pick.
The industry is wide. I'm going to go ahead and give flowers to Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Big Snoop.
Big Snoop. Snoop is a force. You know, the world knows him as, you know, Snoop Deal Double G.
Yeah.
You know, all the big stuff. But personally, I've had a chance to see how he works with the people that he surrounds himself by, and how present he is when he's dealing with, communicating with, working with anybody. Like, he's just so present. And we know he's everywhere at the same time, but it does not feel like that when you talk to him. Like, And so I just appreciate his commitment, like to be a resource to me and be a mentor and just show up in a way that's like dang, you know, when I'm hanging with Snoop, it's about D Smoke, you know what I'm saying? And I be like, is this my life? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, and it just confirmed, we both Libras, you know what I'm saying? It just confirms, you know, that I'm on the right path and surrounding myself with good people. But his ability to be present despite all that's going on, that's something that I want for myself. You know, I'm a busy person, but I don't want people to feel like I'm busy when I'm, you know, with them. So big shout out to Uncle Snoop. Give Snoop some flowers.
Shout out to Snoop, D-O-double-G.
Yeah.
Well, we would love to conclude this episode by giving you your flowers.
Literally. Man. Oh, literally?
Yeah.
Oh.
Got them in the cut.
Oh, I got flowers.
Yeah, and a card.
They so beautiful.
Yes.
Oh,
and
my
we all
goodness.
gave you a card, too.
Thank you so much. I'm going to hold them like this.
Yes. And then, again, like, I always would see, like, the black men don't get flowers until, you know, they go on with the ancestors. Right. So we love to give them. I love to give them, too.
Thank you. I feel so dainty.
Yes, you should feel so special because you are special. So we are so inspired by you, your work, your message, just who you are and how you rose from the concrete. And before you leave, is there anything coming up that you could tell us about?
Yes, I have an album on the way.
I'm so excited.
I'm so proud of it. Y'all will be getting the singles real soon, and just be on the lookout. It's something I've poured my heart into, and I'm excited to share. And also, season 4 of Mayor of Kingstown is on the way. We're filming currently, and I'm just so proud of the work that I've been, you know, blessed to do on that, and look forward to doing more of it. So.
Thank you, D Smoke. And we'll see all of you on the next. Did you miss me? Hey. We'll see all you on the next episode of From the Concrete. Yes. Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes.
This episode is presented by Dirt Stained Roses Productions. Listen on all streaming platforms and watch full episodes at www.dirt-stainedroses.com.